DeCastro uses AI to generate his new lawsuit against the Las Vegas Metro Police Department, as it cites no legal grounds to back his motion and doesn't state a case for awarding him $10 million. It is a slam dunk, right? Plus, will he ever get around to finishing the board game, answering the defense in his Ironton and Nevada suit, creating a GoFundMe for Craig Hendry, printing out some more nifty hoodies, and the rest of his promises? Lane Myers has multiple court hearings today. His friend says he still doesn't have law library access. And the jail are big meanies when he is refusing treatment for an illness. All this plus the surprise mid-month victor in the crowdsourcing fight. On this edition of Auditing Insanity. Good morning and welcome to a surprise early edition of the Auditing Insanity Newscast. I'm Johnny Jones, and we're doing an early edition today to get in and out before the two scheduled Lane Myers court hearings today. So, with that, we're going to ask you to focus on.
DeCastro uses AI to generate a new lawsuit against LVMPD. Jose Chili DeCastro returned to live streaming on Sunday with his first attempt to teach his followers how to write and file a lawsuit using ChatGPT and Twitter/X's Grok AI systems. DeCastro began by announcing that he was going to sue the Las Vegas Police Department for $10 million in the lawsuit that he would generate using the AI systems Sunday afternoon. The YouTuber is claiming that he was arrested by LVMPD police officers on February 14, 2024, in what he describes as an arrest where the officers retaliated against his First Amendment rights. DeCastro essentially found an incident in downtown Las Vegas where a man had been hit by a car and died. Though the man was taken away, the go-ahead to clear the street of crime tape was not yet issued as it was still an active investigation. Ignoring a warning by an actual local member of the press holding a camera, DeCastro went under crime scene tape to access a better spot to film. On his way, he ran into a police officer who told him to avoid the crime scene tape by taking a turn before reaching the gas station. Instead, DeCastro walked up to a group of police officers who were standing at a gas station. He became aggressive and ignored their commands to leave the area as it was an active investigation. DeCastro became belligerent, and when he refused to leave the scene, he was arrested. The charges lingered in the court system and were later dropped. During Sunday's livestream, DeCastro went through the process of filing a federal lawsuit using the ChatGPT software. He uploaded body cam footage of the incident and from the night of the incident and relied on YouTube's transcription software to provide a transcription of the events. He attempted to develop a narrative that was based on the fact that while the investigation was ongoing, the police officers were simply keeping people out of the area until they got the go-ahead to open the streets. Viewers noted that DeCastro has trained his ChatGPT to call him Playboy and to assure him that everything he does with the program is right. Grok, on the other hand, took him to task for stating that he was never taken to the ground by the police in an act of resistance during the incident. It suggested instead that he attempt to maintain his ground due to fear of injury. DeCastro proceeded to have ChatGPT generate a bare-bones lawsuit on his behalf, then checked it with Grok. He seemed pleased with the end result, which made no legal arguments or justification for his $10 million claim. The YouTuber explained that once his initial claim gets past the initial motion to dismiss, he'd then file a first amended complaint with the actual legal arguments. He made it clear that he saw no purpose in giving the legal argument away in the first filing, as it would give the defense an idea as to what his strategy would be to win the lawsuit. It is unclear when DeCastro will get around to filing the lawsuit. In other DeCastro news, DeCastro is now well past the deadlines to respond to both motions to dismiss in his Nevada-based refiling of his previous federal civil rights lawsuit against the city of Ironton, Ohio. DeCastro stated over the weekend that he had intended to file a motion to extend his time to respond to both motions to dismiss, without stating a reason why he needed more time. The stall and delay tactic was a key to extending his first version of the lawsuit, with DeCastro going weeks after direct orders by the court to respond to motions, only to come up with a last-minute excuse as to why he'd need more time to reply. In the current case, he's already ignored an October cutoff date to provide service to the defendants and both cutoffs for his motion to dismiss. While he claims that he will prevail in the case, he seems concerned about again stringing the filings out as far as possible and extending the case. DeCastro also brought up Craig Hendry and indicated that any money that came in after the $405 he needed to file his new lawsuit would be going directly to Hendry's prison commissary account. As of Monday morning, DeCastro had yet to release the edited version of a recent Hendry jail statement, nor did he create the much-promised new GoFundMe for Hendry. Both Hendry's GoFundMe campaigns and DeCastro's multiple GoFundMe campaigns again saw no donations for the weekend. Our Own Ongoing Expenses campaign won the day with a $100 donation in memory of Jim Finch's father.
Journalism is not free. Both ReallyCoolSite.org's daily newspaper and our daily newscasts are funded by your continuing donations and what we make from our YouTube AdSense revenue each month. If you'd like to contribute to help us keep the lights on, eating, keeping the cats fed, and writing new stories to feature on both the newspaper and newscast each day, we do have a GoFundMe set up at the address on screen right now. If you can't afford to contribute, please watch our videos from beginning to end. Like, share, subscribe, and comment. You can help by doing next to nothing, and we thank you in advance for pitching in.
Leigh Myers due back in court for multiple hearings. Despite 2 hearings related to Leigh Myers being listed on the Pima County Superior Court website for today, unofficial spokesperson Josh Gray threw doubt on hearings for Tuesday in a statement released on Monday. Gray has been one of the more prolific supporters of Myers in recent weeks, featuring live phone calls with Myers on his live streams, edging out other supporters such as the Reluctant Prophet and Jason Swack, in sheer zeal in his support for his hero. In Monday's live stream, Gray announced an unsubstantiated claim that there was some sort of problem with Judge D. Douglas Metcalf and that he would not be handling the scheduled hearing for Tuesday. Gray stated that the hearing was not the bond reconsideration hearing that he was expecting, so Myers had no chance to go home on Tuesday. This would correspond to the hearing that was scheduled by Judge Metcalf for Tuesday to determine if Myers was eligible for a hearing to determine if he was available for bond. A motion filed by Myers' attorney William Parvin last week called for the rehearing and was opposed by the prosecutor's office. Parvin is calling for either his client to be released on bond or to be placed in home confinement based on Myers' inability to access the Pima County Adult Correctional Facility's law library as a pro se defendant for one set of charges. The prosecution countered Myers' claims that he had no access to the law library last week, but releasing a special filing indicating that despite Myers' claims, the facility's law library was available to anyone using a tablet distributed by the jail. Furthermore, they confirmed that Myers had access to said tablets, which were distributed 1 tablet per every 2 inmates, rather than Myers' claims of 1 tablet per 25 inmates, and Myers had been accessing the library since mid-March. In Gray's livestream, he claimed that Myers was again denied access to the library, this time with a story from Myers that his identification photo wasn't clear enough on the tablet to grant him access. Gray also claimed that Myers was experiencing health issues while in the facility. Myers reportedly refused treatment for a cough he was experiencing, with the facility workers having him sign papers to waive treatment. According to Gray, the facility has also either denied Myers access to contact lens solution or does not carry it in his commissary, and Myers has been stuck with the same set of lenses since being incarcerated. We do note that a woman identified as Myers' partner attempted to give Myers glasses before a recent hearing, but was denied the ability to hand them to her partner by the prosecutor. All items must go through the correctional facility's processing program before reaching Myers. Gray also encouraged his 200-plus viewers to lobby the Arizona State Senate to ensure passage of HB 2040, which was recently passed by the Arizona House. According to fastdemocracy.com, the proposed bill, if enacted, would amend Arizona revised statutes by adding a new section, 12 to 120.25, that allows parties to seek a rehearing in bank in the Arizona Court of Appeals under specific conditions. Currently, the law does not provide a formal mechanism for such rehearings. The new provisions would require that a petition for rehearing in bank must include a statement indicating that the panel's decision conflicts with a prior decision, along with citations to the conflicting cases. Additionally, it would stipulate that a majority of active appellate judges can order a rehearing without needing to call for a vote, emphasizing that rehearings in bank are not favored unless the outlined criteria are met. Furthermore, the bill specifies that any petition for rehearing in bank must be filed within 14 days after a judgment is entered or within 14 days after an amended decision is issued. If granted, the court would have the discretion to either dispose of the case without further proceedings, order additional briefing or argument, or issue any other appropriate order. This update aims to enhance the uniformity of court decisions and streamline the rehearing process in the appellate system. Myers is currently scheduled for 2 hearings today, one at noon Eastern Time and one at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll have live coverage on our Really Cool News YouTube channel. Long Island audits get surprise mid-month win. YouTube viewers, please click the text link to access the document related to Long Island Audit's lawsuit. It is tax day in the United States in mid-month as Sean Paul Long Island Audit Reyes jumps back into the news as a surprise showing last week has brought in the mid-month win, edging out efforts by both Lane Myers and our own ongoing expenses account. With only 4 campaigns getting donations for the month, the take is easy to show as Reyes is in first with a $1,095 take. This was based on him simply stating that he needed help in a video last week and nothing to do with his fundraising efforts. Our own ongoing expenses campaign is up next for the mid-month with a $770 take, mainly for donations to honor Jim Finch's recently departed father. Those donations will go towards actually keeping the lights on and other expenses in relation to his father's passing. Lane Myers' Give Send Go campaign is in 3rd place with $525 in donations. Myers' fundraising has been hit and miss for the month. With the YouTuber currently in jail and his self-imposed ban on live streaming, Myers' 3 surrogates have done a lousy job conveying the fact that he needs money in the worst way. Myers did get some good news on Monday, as he took in $60 on Monday to take Monday's win, as his Give Send Go was the only campaign to take in new donations. Finally, Liberty Trolls Support the Fight for Our Constitutional Rights campaign is in with $50 to round out the month. Before we begin the semi-quarterly look, we need to note that Christopher Direct D. Ruff's campaign is at a negative for the month, as it's down $40 from the previous month. For the first quarter of the year, plus 15 days, Lane Myers remains in first place with $3,667 raised for the year and an overall tally of $6,316 total for the campaign. Our own ongoing expenses account is in 2nd place with $2,455 raised for the year and an overall total of $8,600. Reyes Support the Fight Against Tyranny and Corruption campaign is in 3rd with a $1,620 total for the year out of an overall total of $53,903. Craig Hendry's To Support Craig's Work campaign is in 4th place and sinking fast with a $1,475 take for the year and $6,756 overall take. It should be noted that Jose Chili DeCastro promised to create a GoFundMe to replace this campaign, but has been too busy to do so since its announcement. Liberty Troll is in 5th place with a $205 take for the year out of a $4,130 overall tally. BZ Watchdog is in 6th place with a $115 yearly take out of a total of $215. Christopher Denver Metro Audits Cordova is next up with a $105 take out of an overall total of $905. Michael Blue Bacon Piratini is in 8th place with a $100 take for the year out of a tally of $19,830. Kevin the Angry Vet Soper is up next with a $45 take out of a $1,240 overall tally. The unofficial Support Delete Laws campaign is in 10th place with a $25 take out of a $396 total. Finally, Sean Paul Reyes is back for his unlawful arrest and constitutional rights campaign, which has had a $10 take for the year out of $2,443 taken in for the campaign. Reyes is also in the news as there's been a new joint motion in his lawsuit against the New York City Police Department seeking access to film within all police precincts in the state. Both sides are seeing a delay until April 18th, 2025, to file a fully revised case management plan, as they're waiting on the Court of Appeals to rule on a preliminary injunction in the lawsuit, and there's no pathway forward until that happens. The sides have agreed to submit what they can by April 18th should the appeals court not rule by that time. And we're back. So there are two Lane Myers hearings today that were scheduled to restream if they happen. Tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, Jim and the gang will be back with coverage of those hearings and hopefully news from our courtroom reporter for at least one of the two set hearings. With that, take care and have a fantastic day.